Happy Friday, everyone. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on June 6, 2014. Real glad to be here. Coming at you live from Camrose in central Alberta. Now, I am not Dr. Peter Glidden. I'm not even a doctor. What I am is a longevity distributor and a radio show host. And this is what we call Phillip Fridays. And Dr. Glidden is a busy guy, and I get a little taste of that because we have meetings around here talking to people about different health problems and how to get it back, how to promote and support the healthy structure and function of your body without drugs and surgery. Now, here on the show, we talk a lot about a 10 bad food list, and at the top of that list is a little old thing called gluten. All right, and you're hearing this a lot more lately, and mainstream media is treating it as though it's some sort of diet fad, but the fact is I've seen people get massive results just from going off gluten. And then if you nutrify yourself with the 90 essentials, and I'm going to get into what those are in a little bit here, but Jimmy Kimmel did a segment the other night on how many people actually know what gluten is, and I thought it was kind of funny. Let's roll that clip.
People are very interested in food nowadays. People who don't even cook watch cooking shows, and everyone has an opinion on what you should and shouldn't be putting into your body. Lately, I don't know if it's just here in L.A., but people are very anti-gluten, which bothers me because I'm very pro-pizza, and you can't be pro-pizza and anti-gluten. So now some people can't eat gluten for medical reasons, which that I get. It annoys me, but I get it. But a lot of people here don't eat gluten because, like, someone in their yoga class told them not to. I keep asking people about this, and I started to wonder how many of these people even know what gluten is. So we decided to find out. Gluten, in case you didn't know, and I didn't know this, is a mixture of two proteins found in wheat and some other natural grains. But here in L.A., it's comparable to Satanism. So we sent a camera crew out to a popular exercise spot right up the street from us to ask people who are gluten-free a simple question. What is gluten? What is this thing you will not eat? So we're going to meet a person that doesn't eat gluten, and together we're going to guess if they know what gluten is. Are you ready? What else do you have?
Do you maintain a gluten-free diet?
I do indeed.
And what is gluten?
Okay. Does he know what gluten is? Oh, everyone says no.
Well, as far as for me, how it affects my body,
But what is gluten?
This is pretty sad because I don't know.
We're 0 for 1. But I hate it, and I know. Next.
Do you maintain a gluten-free diet?
I do.
What is gluten?
All right. Does this shirtless gentleman know it? Yes. Okay.
Gluten's in bread. It's a flour derivative, wheat, things like that.
It's a flour derivative?
It's like bread, things like that, pastries.
It's in those things?
Yeah, it's in those things.
So what is it exactly?
Gluten is it's like a grain, right?
I like when he coughed. It's like, I'm sorry, I have some in my throat. Excuse me. All right, next.
Do you maintain a gluten-free diet?
Yeah, I try to the best of my ability, yeah.
What is gluten?
Does she know what gluten is? Oh.
It's the wheat in products such as like bread or pastas, rice.
Why do you avoid it?
It makes you fat. I mean, like I said, I haven't researched it to the fullest. I have a girlfriend from Russia. She actually just got me into it. So she's reading a book about it.
Oh, okay. Russians know about gluten and Putin. They know about both of those things. All right, we have one more.
Do you maintain a gluten-free diet?
I do. I actually don't eat rye, wheat, oat, bran, dairy, nuts, or eggs.
Wow. What is gluten?
Does he know? Does Jewish John Hamm know what gluten is?
It is part, I believe, of the wheat that I really don't know. It's rye, wheat, oat, and bran. So that's what I
gotta go pick my kids up. Leave me alone. Maybe gluten doesn't exist.
Okay, so there you have it. Not a lot of people actually know what it is. And this being radio, you couldn't see any of those people that he was talking to. But I watched the clip on YouTube, and guess what? Every single person that they asked what it was that didn't know what it was thin, good-looking, and healthy-looking. So Jimmy Kimmel, he's a funny guy. His job is to poke and make fun of things, and he wanted to make a joke out of the fact that these people are following this diet and don't even know what it is. But the fact is, even though they didn't know, it did not change the outcome. All right, now what gluten is, the protein. A protein is a daisy chain of amino acids. Your stomach can't break the bonds between those amino acids. It goes into your small intestine and wreaks absolute havoc. Now, if you've been listening to this show a long time, you know this, but if you're a new listener, gluten is a bad voodoo daddy. You need to eat that stuff like you need to take a toaster into the bathtub with you. I'm telling you right now, it's not as quick, but the results are the same. Now, even Fox News is picking up on this. Let's roll a clip from Fox News on gluten-free testimonies.
Thing in common. Their bodies can't properly digest grain. We're not just talking bread and pasta. Grains are used as a preservative and found in almost every food. They want to share with others it's possible to happily live gluten-free. Zachary and Brooke Shapiro both found out they have gluten intolerance after their mom got diagnosed with it.
They were accepting of it because they knew in the long run it would help them for their health and it would benefit them.
Accepting of a gluten-free lifestyle, Della has found healthy snacks they enjoy, like cheese, certain chips, and fresh fruit.
Here you go, Sid.
She's also come up with recipes the whole family enjoys. Instead of breadcrumbs, she uses grated Parmesan cheese. Since going gluten-free, Della doesn't have stomach problems, stay chronically ill, or suffer chronic fatigue. Brooke stopped having debilitating headaches. We met up with this family and Kathy Seymour at Town Center Wellness in Sugar Land.
You ready for your appointment?
Kathy was fatigued all the time, but never realized it was the protein in some grains making her sick.
And at first you think of all the things that I can't have this, I can't have that, instead of, wow, this is going to fix me and I don't have to take any medication.
Kathy and Della both agree eating gluten-free has lessened their symptoms.
But in a number of my own experiences with patients, I've seen a number of cases of autoimmune disease go into remission just by making dietary changes.
Randy Markowitz realized many people with the disorder miss the convenience of processed foods.
GlutenFreeHouston.com is, to the best of my knowledge, Houston's only 100% gluten-free catering service that we are going to be starting up in the very near future.
Randy learned to make all this after she was diagnosed with the digestive disorder celiac disease. This is an immune response to gluten where it damages the small intestine and won't allow food to properly digest. She's worked hard to make gluten-free food that tastes good.
I started experimenting with all kinds of crazy recipes so that I can eat bread that was fresh-made bread that was good, that I liked, and cookies and cakes and pastas and all this kind of stuff. And I ended up throwing out lots of things before I came up with some pretty good recipes.
Randy mentors many others with the disorder. A sign of gluten intolerance?
If you're feeling really terrible and you have a variety of kooky symptoms that don't seem to add up to anything and you've been to doctors and nobody can figure out what's wrong with you.
Nutritionists say it is very underdiagnosed. We have a link to that gluten-free website under the Health tab at myfoxhouston.com.
Very underdiagnosed. So there's a lot of people running around with problems that are absolutely, in our view, directly gluten-related, and it causes a lot of pain. It can cause you to be fuzzy in your head. You can't think straight. Irritable bowel syndrome. It'll actually cause you to lose control of your bowels. How does that sound? Does that dinner bun look so good now? I mean, I was never a guy who really think this way, but my wife was so sick and in pain that I had to do something. And when I started listening to this show and the things that Dr. Peter with Glidden was saying, we started to put that into practice, and we actually reversed her high blood pressure in 2 days. All right? 2 days, just following some simple steps. But you got to be able to take in the right information and listen to the right people, because let's face it, the well is thoroughly poison. Gluten, it is poison. It will kill you. It will kill your kids. Get off of it today. And if you don't believe me, do a little experiment. Excuse me. Go 1 week without it. Don't touch it. No pancakes, no buns, no nothing. All right? Now, at the end of that week, load up. Eat as much of it as you can and just see what happens. We had a really great interview last week with Mike Rivero talking about SSRIs, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and I've been getting lots of really good feedback on that. Now, Mike Rivero is a guy whose radio show over on RBN I've been listening to for a long time, and Dr. Peter Glidden is scheduled to be on Mike Rivero's radio show, What Really Happened Radio, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And what it is Longevity Nation is marching forward. The more that I do this, the more I see women get thin and beautiful. The more I see people drop chronic pain conditions that they've been going to the doctor for years and years, and they don't get better. And people are hungry for this information. Now, if you're a new listener, we've got lots of resources available for you. If you go over to fireyourmdnow.com, remember I was talking about the 10 bad food list? Register your email with fireyourmdnow.com, and we will send you that list. Not only that, but we were talking about gluten. We'll send you a link to a video with Dr. Peter Glidden teaching on what gluten is, what it'll do to you. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We got Henry from Tennessee and Brooke in Alabama coming up after this. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. The call-in line is 1-844-374-5433. Once again, that's 1-844-374-5433. We're going to take some calls. And first up, we're going to go over to Henry in Tennessee. Henry, you're on the air. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm on all of Wallach stuff, but I'm wondering if there's something I can take to keep the fluid run away from my heart.
You got fluid gathering around your heart?
Yes, sir. I keep trying to get off of the Lasix, and every time I do, they tell me I go into cardiac arrest. But, congestive heart failure is what they call it.
Yeah, what are you taking, Henry?
I'm taking a Lasix right now to try to get it off. But I'm taking the Tangerine, the Osteoelfix, the EFAs, selenium, D-stress, glucose gel, Z-radical, Sweeties, and Prostate FX.
All right, sounds like you're loading up. How long have you been doing this, Henry?
About 6 months solid now.
6 months solid, and you're still having some problems. You're having a hard time getting over.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so have you noticed any difference in your blood pressure? How do you feel? Let me ask you that.
I feel good until I hate taking them Lasix, and when I stop taking them, then it takes me down. And I come in here and take 2 of them, and I will go all night long, and then the next day I'm back up going again.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. We're not completely anti-drug here, Henry. I mean, if it's working for something right now and you're getting completely nutrified and you feel good, you're going to have to keep doing what you're doing in order to feel to keep things going for you. Have you talked to your pharmacist at all?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Henry, what I'd like you to do is keep going. Let me ask you this. With the OsteoFX, how much do you weigh and how much of that are you taking a day?
I'm taking 4 scoops of it. I weigh 252 pounds. I came from 293 down to 252.
So you've already lost about 50 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, we don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but the good news is you're already seeing results. And you know what? I'm really happy to see you chomping at the bit to go to the next level. What a guy might want to do, Henry, and I've seen the best results that I've seen with heart health is when a guy doubles up on the OsteoFX. And you said you're taking 2 scoops, so I assume you're taking the powder?
No, I'm taking 4 scoops.
For 4, yeah. So you're taking the powdered OsteoFX.
Oh, no, I'm taking the liquid, 2.5 ounces a day.
Okay. So when I had somebody in my life that was suffering from heart problems, I called Dr. Glidden, and you remember in the last segment I was seeing, I saw high blood pressure reversed in 2 days?
Yes.
Okay, well, what he told me was to double up on the OsteoFX, double it. It's essential for heart health, okay? I'm going to get into this later on in the show, but 80% of all diseases fall within 4 categories, okay? It's really that simple. And calcium deficiencies, calcium, magnesium, glucosamine, and chondroitin. You're looking at bone and joint and heart problems right there. Do you get any kind of muscle cramps, Henry?
I did last night in my right leg. I got up at 2:30 this morning having a fit with that.
Okay, so that tells me that there's a definite calcium deficiency still. So, Henry, you're taking 4 ounces of the OsteoFX. If it were me, and remember, I'm not a doctor, I've just seen what I've seen, right? If it were me, I would bump that up to 6 and keep a real good eye on it and see how it goes. How did you find out about longevity, Henry?
From Jackson, Tennessee, from Molly. I've been studying it a year and a half. I've been playing with it, but I've been serious with it for the last 6 months. And have to get myself gluten-free.
That's great. Yeah, you got to follow that 10 bad food list, absolutely. And like I said, Henry, you might not have gotten everything you wanted just yet, but you lost 50 pounds and you feel good overall. Now it's just a matter of taking the next step. And if it was me, what I would do is move from 4 ounces to 6 ounces of the OsteoFX. Take that advice, Henry. Try it out. If it doesn't work, call back when Dr. Glidden's on the air and we'll get it dialed in. We got Brooke in Alabama coming up after this. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. He'll be back. Welcome back. We're live on Fire Your MC Radio on the Genesis Communication Network. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden, and I'm having a great time doing it, mind you. I love doing this show. I love taking your calls and interviewing interesting people. We're going to go over to Brooke in Alabama. Speaking of which, Brooke, how you doing?
Hey there, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
Okay. I've recently been diagnosed with ACE Tiernex, which is a pocket of spinal fluid on my C6 of my neck. And basically, I'm having a lot of side effects from this, even though it's a really small. I'm having, like, chest numbness, throat numbness, numbness in my hands, feet. I've had light sensitivity, some confusion, pressure in my head. I'm having anxiety, panic attacks.
You get something going on in your spine, and it affects everything, hey?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's affecting. I've got insomnia. I mean, all kinds of things that are going on. And, I mean, it's really, really small. I've had an MRI done on my brain, so that was good on that. But the thing is still there.
Yeah, so tell me, have you taken any steps to do anything about it yet, or is that why you're here?
That's why I'm calling, because, I mean, I really don't know what to do about it, and, I mean, the doctor really couldn't tell me really much.
That's a shock.
Except to follow up, and, I mean, apparently it's a rare thing that he says, but the radiologist told me that she sees them all the time.
Okay.
It's confusing, so I'm like, I don't really know what to do about it.
Well, it does get confusing because there's so much information and so many opinions out there, and then you go and you talk to a healthcare professional, and they're just all over the place. And what did they suggest? They want to put you on a drug or something?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm 22. I'm a breastfeeding mom to a 4-month-old, and they wanted to give me dye for the MRI, and I'm breastfeeding, number one, and number two, I just didn't feel easy about putting dye in my body that's not supposed to be in there.
Yeah, you know what? I had a friend that they wanted to do the same thing to him, and he'd been talking to me, and he asked them what what are the chances of this messing me up? And they said, well, they're there. And that's all they could say. Yeah, but that was good enough for him. So, I mean, he said right there, you're not injecting anything into me. But, okay, so here's the deal. Let me first ask you, how'd you hear about this show?
Well, my grandmother has been recently started taking the tangy orange stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of been sharing some of it with me, to let me taste it and whatnot. And I kind of just looked it up, and I seen that y'all have a radio show.
Yeah, so, well, and this is what we do here. I've seen stuff that you just would not believe. So here's the deal. When you are having a baby, okay, your body has to use a lot of minerals to do that because that baby isn't just built out of nothing, right? And that's depleting you, and it's depleting, the baby's not getting exactly what it needs if it's not in you in the first place. Okay, so there's 90 essential vitamins, minerals, and amino and fatty acids. Specifically, you need every day 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids. Now, with your spine problem, what we're going to do is hook you up with a few different things that I want you to try. And you were on hold that whole time. You heard me talking about the bad food list, right?
Right.
Okay, so I want you to go over to fireyourmdnow.com and register your email address with the website and get that list, number one. If you want to get your health back and do it optimally, this is a recipe, and there's no cinching out on anything here. And what you'll find is once you get your body nutrified and you stop eating food that's gumming you up inside and wrecking your small intestine and inhibiting you from absorbing nutrients, you will it happens like a flower opening. It's slow, but it's fast. And you just feel yourself feeling better all the time. Your sleep gets better. Your energy gets better. Did you notice the increase in your energy with that tangy tangerine?
Yeah, at its helped. Also, I've noticed one thing I had going on, and it's been going on for quite a few years, is my legs constantly shook. And since I've been taking this for the past, 5 days, my legs have stopped shaking.
Yeah, see, so you're already seeing little results, and that's only one aspect of it. So if your grandmother she's a longevity distributor, what I want you to do is write down a few things that I'd like you to try. Okay? Okay. And I got to watch myself how I talk because I'm not a doctor and I'm not legally, I can't diagnose things. All I can do is tell people what our view on it is and what I would do personally, and I've seen amazing results. Just like you in the last little while, just that little bit of tangerine. How much do you weigh, Brooke? Do you mind me asking?
I weigh 150 now.
150?
I was 190 when I delivered my baby, and before I got pregnant, I was 110 pounds. So I've kind of went a little crazy with that.
Well, you'd probably like to get back to that 110, hey?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I believe that that's totally possible. Now, at the top of that 10 bad food list, just like I was talking about in the first segment, gluten, gluten, gluten. Stay away from gluten. It's poison. All right. First of all, that's what I would do. Number 2, you're 150 pounds. You've got fluid in between a couple of discs in your back. What I would do is I would be taking at least 1 Healthy Body Start Pack per month. Okay, you got that wrote down?
So different Healthy Start Packs, or?
For you, just start out with the Healthy Body Start Pack. Okay, it comes with the EFAs, the OsteoFX, and the Tangy Tangerine. Your grandma probably has some of that around, I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want you to do the same, at least 1. If you want things to happen a little bit quicker, this is based on body weight, right? 100 pounds of human flesh is 1 Healthy Start Pack. So if you can get 1.5, you can pay for 2 the first month, and use half of the second one and then pay for one the second month and do 1.5, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, also with that, what I would do is I would add 1 bottle or actually 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals, okay, just to replace what you've lost in your pregnancy.
Uh-huh.
And start with that and 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium.
Okay.
And you're going to take 3 of those per day.
3 per day.
Yeah, so tell me this, Brooke. How's your grandma doing on this stuff?
Well, she just started. She's on the Tangy Tangerine and the Osteo FX. And she said that she's able, to get out of bed now because of her bone and joint pain, and she's got osteoporosis and ruptured disc and osteoarthritis. So she said that she's already seen a difference, and she just recently started taking it as well.
How old is she?
61.
61, and she's already had a noticeable difference, able to get out of bed, and a decrease in pain.
Yes, and she's hoping to get off her medications, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody wants to take those things. And like I said earlier, we're not anti-drug, right? It's just how the drug is used. And if you absolutely need it and it's going to keep your life going, then fine, right? But just using a drug to treat a health problem is absolutely not going to fix the problem. It might give you a little bit of temporary comfort, but unless the root cause...
It just relieves the symptom
Sorry?
for a little while.
Sorry?
I said it just relieves the symptom for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. And what it's meant to do is override a naturally occurring system, right? Your body's trying to let you know that it needs something. And, so you bring in this drug and override it and you feel better for a little while. Meanwhile, the underlying condition still remains. So, Brooke, have your grandma help you out with making an order, and let's see what that does for you, all right?
Yeah, I want to definitely do that because the doctor, he told me that basically he thought that I was born with this, but I think once I had my baby and I strained, it started up the symptoms.
Yeah. You know what? I was reading a report here that I just brought up from, I'm up in Canada, right? But I pulled a report on Global News, and our doctors up here are telling the medical system to expect diabetes as a result of 1 in 10 pregnancies in the near future. So, what that speaks to is the fact that everybody is minerally deficient. Everybody is deficient in a vitamin, a mineral, amino, and fatty acid. And when you run out, you hit the wall and things start to break, and then you get scared. You go running to your doctor. They want to medicate you, put you on a psychotropic, and it does not fix the problem. And Brooke, you're a real smart lady for coming to the right place. And if you keep listening to this show, what'll happen is you'll hear things, and you'll hear people phoning in that have had incredible health recoveries, and you'll just pick up things along the way, and people around you in your life will be able to get their health back by your advice for them. Are you an insider with Dr. Glidden? Have you even heard of that?
Heard of what?
Well, if you go to Dr. Glidden's website, fireyourmdnow.com, okay, if you become an insider, it costs you $20 a month. There's hundreds of hours of webinars with Dr. Glidden teaching on how to deal with skin conditions, lung health, just bone and joint pain, strong body without cancer. Okay, so you learn these things, and what I did was I started holding little meetings at a coffee shop downtown. I'd bring my TV down there, and we would show these webinars, and we had so many people showing up. We filled that little coffee shop, and we had to go shopping for a new place. Well, last night we had our last meeting, and it's already looking like we're going to have to go shopping for another new place because people are coming in like crazy. So talk to your grandma because there's a business opportunity here. Not only can you get your health back, but you can put money in your pocket for you, your grandma, and that little baby's future. Sound good?
Right.
So, you know,
definitely.
do something like that and, work to get the health back of your family and your community and the people around you. Brooke, I really appreciate you calling in. I'm going to let you go. Keep in touch with the show. Let us know how you're doing. Take care. Now, I listen, like I said before, I listen to Mike Lavero, I listen to Alex Jones, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there. It seems like sometimes, there's this view that there's a shadowy cabal that wants to take over the world and destroy everything. Well, what are you going to do about it? I'll tell you what you can do about it. You can join Longevity, get your health back, get the health back of your family, friends, and neighbors. Join us. We're an army, and we're on the march. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden, back after this. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio on GCN. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. Call-in lines 1-844-374-5433. Final segment in this hour, we're going to go over to Raj in Philadelphia. Raj, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. I just wanted to talk to you about, I have asthma since I was a child, and within the last 10 years, I've developed high blood pressure and diabetes. I wanted to know, how do I go about reversing that?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's touch on the asthma first. You're talking to the right guy, Raj, because I had asthma my whole life. I was no stranger to the emergency room because I would get trucked into the hospital at 4 o'clock in the morning turning blue, and it's not fun at all. I know exactly where you're coming from. You got allergies, too, with that?
Yes, I do. Very bad.
Yeah, you know what? It was the same thing with me. I had to have at least a box of Claritin with me, in the summertime, cutting grass. Or summer camp was absolutely the worst time for me when I was a kid because I'd be laying in a cabin struggling to breathe while the kids were running in and out talking about how great archery and canoeing was.
Yes.
And I couldn't do it because because you can't breathe, right? And your head's all itchy and plugged up and watering. But I got good news for you. Everything works together, and we work from a holistic viewpoint. And if you follow some simple steps, you can do just as well as I did. Now, it's been about 3 years for me, and I don't have to have an inhaler. I haven't taken a Claritin since I can remember. Okay?
Wow.
So if you were listening to the show earlier, remember I was talking about gluten?
I just got on. I just started listening. My dad turned me on to this show yesterday, so
okay, great. Yeah. So here's the deal. You cannot eat any barley, wheat, rye, or oats anymore, Raj. You got to get off of them. And I predict that if you do that, it won't be very long, and you're going to feel a big difference in your allergies and your asthma. What's happening is that your small intestine has been compromised by these grains, and stuff is leaking through your small intestine, and your immune system is going crazy and releasing histamines, okay?
Okay.
So you've got to lay off barley, wheat, rye, and oats however you can, Raj. Now, if you want to get a list of foods not to eat, go to fireyourmdnow.com and register your email address, and they'll send that right off to you, Raj. Now, next, let's talk about the diabetes and the high blood pressure. I've had experience dealing with people with both of those conditions. Now, are you type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Type 2, you know what? That's not a good thing, but it's good news compared to type 1 because, in my view, type 2 is absolutely reversible. I've seen people do it. All right, now, the presence of chromium and vanadium is absolutely necessary in your blood in order for your cells to utilize sugar. All right? Okay. So we got to find a way to get that in you every day. Your body will be able to utilize sugar properly. And we got a few ways of doing that, and I'm going to go over that in a minute. Now let's talk about the high blood pressure. All right? Now, from our point of view, all disease falls into 4 categories. Okay, now, calcium, magnesium, glucosamine, and chondroitin All right, calcium deficiency is a big one on high blood pressure. My wife had stage 1 hypertension. She was getting dizzy spells and felt just awful. I phoned Dr. Glidden. He told me a couple things to do, and we brought her blood pressure down in 2 days.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to get into it after this network break. Raj, I'm so glad you called in. Hang on. It's going to be a few minutes. We're going to come back to you after the news here, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden, talking to Raj in Philadelphia. We'll be back right after this.